Hi Intune friends, in this video we're gonna do Microsoft 365 apps policy. So 365 apps, you know, it's Outlook, it's Excel, it's PowerPoint and all those. So in Intune we have done a video previously where you install that, and that's super simple. You go intunemicrosoft.com, you go apps, then we can do Windows to make it easier, we create, and as a type, we select, they have already prefixed this one, Microsoft 365 apps, Windows 10, you select, and then you can choose which apps you want, and you create it. So super simple. But once this is finished, you get the default settings for all those apps. So maybe you have user or management to say, hey, I want this and this enabled or disabled in Outlook or Word. Then we're not going to do it here. We're going to do it in another place. So if we go to apps here, and you see down here, policies for Microsoft 365 apps. So if we click here, it looks like this. It's totally empty the first time. We can learn a bit more here. So these policies apply on a user level. So when you select the scope, you can select the tenant, which means all users, or you can select an Entra group. And the Entra group can contain users and devices, but it will totally ignore devices. So it's apply only on users. So if I use my personal machine, but I have my work account, in this case GBN, the policy will still apply on my home machine, because I'm logging in with my user account who is targeted for this. Certain licenses, I have Microsoft 365 Business Standard, so that works. At your work, you probably have maybe an E3 or like, so those works as well. And here it's going to be something about the groups. Yes, it's only user objects. You can have nested in 3 levels, meaning you can have a group called all company, and then you have technology, and then you have IT support or something, and then you add a user in that, and then you target the third group. It can nest it in 3 levels. You got it. Again, here it can contain devices, but it's only the user objects that's going to work. So we can create some. My plan from the beginning was that, hey, we create one and then look what it looks like in Outlook and Word, and then create another one. The problem is it takes hours for me after I have created one to see the results. So I'm going to create these and then post, and then we look on the client. So let's create one. You know, in Outlook, at least Classic, you have in the upper right where it says, hey, switch to the new one. And for some reason, my company don't want that. So we can disable, I forgot what it's called now, Outlook New or something, disable, it's a switch for Outlook. And I think they put it something like this, new, and GBN management, that's my fake company, decided to only use Classic Outlook. So if I look here and I type Outlook, you have the Classic, you have the new. When you open the Classic, it's going to say, hey, don't you want to switch to the new? And I prefer the Classic, and apparently the management of this company as well. So here we come to the scope. There are actually 3. So you can configure it apply to all users. That means the whole tenant. However, if you do that and go next time you create your next policy, that one is grayed out. You can only have one of that. You can have multiple where it's to groups. So let's do one for the whole tenant for this one. And then we do groups for the rest. And you can also have, this is a bit what I spoke, if you use Office on the web or Anonymous, then you can do a policy for that. I'm not going to go through that. I'm mostly interested for, you know, the company machines. So we're going to use these 2. So we go next. So now we have the scope. Usually you have the scope later in Microsoft. You select the policy first and then the scope, but they put the scope first. You see here it's 2,304 total policy. That's a lot. But you can do filters. Yeah, let's do a filter. We can do it. I'm only interested in Windows in this video. You can do for, well, you see here iOS, Mac OS, web, and Android, not Linux. So let's call this Windows, because that's what this video is going to be about. But again, well, it works for the others too, so I don't know why I chose Windows, because I'm showing it on a Windows machine. But let's do Windows Outlook filter, why not? So we check Windows, and then we have Outlook. Well, I'm going to take Outlook only here, and let's choose those who have not been configured. Well, we can take configured also. So now we filter down from 2000 to 395. So what is it? If I type switch, luckily you have the search, right? Hit enter. Maybe that wasn't that one then. Okay, I'll clear the filter. I thought it was an Outlook. If I do switch, well, it should be. Outlook goes good here for me, right? Turn on. I think it's hide though. Let's see if hide. See, probably too common. Hide. This is the one I wanted. Oh, there is. It's not the switch. It's a toggle. Let me just type toggle here. I should have known that. For me, I call it the switch. Yeah. So this is the one. Try the new Outlook that my company really don't want. So you see, that one is only for Windows, because Mac actually only support the new Outlook, and that's probably why Microsoft want Windows to go over to the new also, so they only have to develop one platform. An application is Outlook Classic, and it's not configured. Area could be baseline and some other things. Okay, so, and this only works if you have subscription based. That means if you're using an old installation or 2019, if you don't use the click to run, then it will not work. But if you use the same as me in Outlook, if you push it with Intune and use the built-in, you definitely have it. Okay, so let's hide this one. We click enable, apply, and I could have multiple settings, but I'll create one per item. So now scope, the whole company gonna have this. So I click create this one. So now if I click done here it is. And priority, you can move them up. It's gonna apply all, but if there is a conflicting setting, let's say I have 10 policy and one says, hey, enable this switch, then the one with the lowest priority is gonna win. Well, lowest number is the highest priority. So 0, 1 wins over 1, 2. Okay, so we don't have to reorder. You can copy if they are similar, but let's create another one. So let's see what we have here. We can have disable macros from the internet. GBN security teams flagged for this issue. It would never be the description, right? But it works here. So now if we go to scope, you see this one has already been taken. So for some reason, you can't have more than one of that. So we're going to do this policy configuration applied to user specific groups. Remember the groups, it's only if it's users. So I'm going to say that this is going to be, I have an EntraID group. This is only for sales users for some reason, because they use so much macro over the internet apparently at my company. So now the filter is gone, and we are back here. So I'll do something like, well, let's see macro. I didn't specify, I guess macro could be Excel and many, right? Blocks macro from running an Office file from the internet. That looks to be the one. That's the security by baseline. Let's take this one. Manually configure, and let's enable it. So now we're for sure blocking it. Well, that was one setting, right? So let's go next. and create. Let's create one more, and then I'm going to show you how you can troubleshoot this and see if it has applied and where. We're going to look a lot in the registry. So we have to create one more. Let's say we want to disable loop. That's again CIO of, I mean, I don't know why I write it can be, it doesn't have to be that right, but CIO of GBN don't want to use loop. So go next. Well, that could be all. Yeah, it would be for the whole company. So even if you want multiple for all users, I mean, for tenant, that means really, really all user. I have a group called, not that. I have one called all users where I have added all users. So you are not limited. Yeah, we're only 7 people at GBN. Actually, only one real person. The other 6 are a bit fake. So now that was something called loop, right? Oops, 2.0. Let's see what we have. That works for Android and some others as well. I thought about show loop component for supported apps. Let's disable this one. We don't want to show that. We can do multiple here. Create and view loop files in Outlook. Well, we don't want that, so let's disable. Enable the preview features of loop. Well, let's disable that too. And create workspace loop in loop. Well, we disable that also. This is hard stuff. But if you want to disable, let's disable it. Allow external. There are probably more things. You sort of get how it works, right? But at least it's less visible now. So you have all these 2000s more settings. So obviously you have to use what's good for your organization. So let's do done. Now we don't have any conflicting settings. Let's say that we want to disable loop before this one because this one also had a loop setting. Well, we would just select this one and reorder. So then if the same settings were in this one and this one, and the user is in both groups, it apply, then one wins. So if we would have one who says enable macros for the internet and that's below, it's going to lose against this one. Okay, so we could be creating settings here all day long. I'm going to pause the video now and wait for my client to pick this up, and then we're going to see if disable switch for Outlook new is gone or not. Okay, see you in an hour or so. Okay, waited a while, 30 minutes probably. So now if I open my Outlook, I don't have this toggle to switch to the new. I'm missing loop that we disabled and probably our other settings as well. I'll just show the other machine I have who also should have these settings but haven't got it yet, just to see the difference. Here is another machine. It has the try the new Outlook. It has loop and everything. So let's go back to the other machine. So now we are on the machine who have got the policy, so we don't see this, the loop is gone. Where can we see that this have applied? Where are the settings? Well, we can go to the registry. And here it's under HKey local current user. It's under software. And then it's like the old group policy. It's under policies. And it's under Microsoft. It's under 2 places. This is the unique ID and on the cloud, but it's going to be the same. If I open here, you have the cloud and these 2 are the same. So I'm going to go under this one, Cloud Office 16. And let's see what we have here. Here we have the loop. So our policy have added this value, loop. 0 usually means disabled and 1 enabled. Loop App, Loop Outlook, and Preview, so those are blocked. But those are common in general. What's only for Outlook was, seems to be multiple stuff. Hide new Outlook toggle, 1. I would assume if I close Outlook and change this one to 0, I could be wrong, the toggle should come back. Yeah, it's there. Oh, happy it worked like that. And if I put it back, it's gone. So if we want to get back a loop, we should be able to use the same logic, right? So if we change, I would guess it's out just for Outlook. Let's try only that one first. And is it that one? Nope, it's not back. Oh, could be. Let's put 1 on all of these. Loop preview, and let's see if it's back. Yeah, the loop is back. So I don't know which one of those 4 hide it there, but one of them. I'm gonna put it back. You shouldn't go in here and modify. You should do it in the console, and this or Intune admin, and this is gonna be overwritten anyway, so it's not a long-term solution. What did we else have? We had mail here. Oh, that's also a loop one. Oh, okay. So if it's only for Outlook, it arrived here. It doesn't look like we did anything for Excel. And if I do, it would take another 30 minutes for it to show up or something. But you get the idea. We also add the macro. Is that somewhere else? Probably. Well, it should have been somewhere under here. I don't see that though. Well, our settings have been applied. Or actually, this was maybe for, let me see the scope for the group. An error. Yeah, happily refresh. Config refuse to connect. Okay, some connection issue here. Let me try this one again. I'm unsure the scope. Oh, sales users. My account isn't a sales user, I assume. Let me see. I'm John Brents on this one. Let me see who's member. No, okay. That's why I never got this one. It makes sense. So I got the other 2. So if I search all groups, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not in this one. Members, it is. No, Padma Admidala and Penny Hofstadter are the cells. So that's why I didn't get them. So all good, all good. So a little recap. I think we're good. Under apps, policies for Microsoft 365 apps. We didn't reorder. Well, we can move this one up. Reorder priority, so now it's more up. Oh, well, actually, no, you have to select, so I might select disable loop. Let me put that one at first. Now it's up and save. So now disable loop is there. You see when I take, here is a tenant, and remember you can only have one. When I click here, you don't get copy because, well, you can only have one. But if I do one where it says user, then the copy lights up. So, which I think it's strange because you get to change the scope here anyway if you want. Oh, apparently, no, you can't change the scope. My bad. So you can change the order. You can create as many as you want, target them. You can also export. Let's open the file. Why not Excel? And if we expand everything, this is what it looks like. The settings ID, the loop, the register value, and the description of everything. So you can export, but I don't see any imports. So I don't know exactly the usage of that one, but could be good to have. Okay, well, thank you very much for taking time to look at this video. I hope this was sort of useful. You Of course, you have over 2,000 settings, so the few one I show probably don't need it for you, but you can hopefully find your settings by all those. Thank you very much and see you in another video.